Hello listeners and welcome to Boomerang. This is Team 4 bringing you the news from the West Lothian Courier, with permission, published on Thursday the 24th of April 2025. And our readers today are Jackie, who has kindly prepared the paper for this recording, and our thanks go to her for doing that, Alison, Kate and Joyce. Margaret and Joan will join us later to take care of the distribution of the wallets, and Harry is our recorder and copier as usual. Our broadcast will be in 4 parts. Part 1 will be general news. Part 2 will include family announcements. Part 3 will have more general news items and the quiz. And in Part 4, we will include news about local sport as well as the answers to the quiz. Well, the countryside is looking well now, and I think that plants are at their best at this time of the year. They are fresh and lovely, and the songbirds in the evening sound wonderful. Can I remind you that when you have finished with the recording, please put the memory stick back into the blue wallet, turn over the address label, and post it back to us here in Whitburn from a postbox and not the post office. Now, let's get started with the lead story this week and Kate.
Walking the Walk for My Wee Sister by Michael Pringle. The sister of a teenager from West Lothian who has an aggressive blood cancer took on a walking challenge to raise money for charity and was joined by her mum for the final mile. Ailey Timmins, 14, was diagnosed with high-grade B-cell lymphoma, HGBCL, last month and is undergoing treatment in hospital. The Falthouse teenager, who is at S3 pupil at St Kentigern's High in Blackburn, was in intensive care for 4 nights before being moved to the Schiehallion ward at the Royal Hospital for Children in Glasgow. Ailey's mum Gillian said, "She hadn't been well for a few weeks and we ended up in hospital on the 20th of March. We thought she had just a chest infection, but she ended up being blue-lighted through to Glasgow's Sick Kids Hospital. They thought she had fluid around her lungs and her heart and thought she was going to have it drained, but she just didn't get any better. They found that she had a tumour at the right-hand side of her heart. It was such a shock, but now she's been diagnosed, the hospital have been very positive. It's stage 3 and has spread to her liver, kidneys and pancreas. It's half in size with steroids treatment alone, and with her first dose of chemo, it's down a further 20% already. It's amazing. It's a very aggressive growing cancer, and I reckon that she's had it for a few months. I could see her complexion becoming pale, and just thought she's 14 and it's her hormones. I went and bought her some vitamins to try and perk her up a bit. She's responding to treatment, so that's amazing. Elizabeth Penman, who works with Gillian at Barclays Medical Practice, read about the Kids Spring Challenge for Young Lives versus Cancer and decided to do it with her daughter. Ailey's sister Gemma, 16, an S4 pupil, decided she wanted to take part. They have now set to raise over £3,000 for the charity. Elizabeth said, "I know Gillian really well, and it was quite a blow. It's a devastating diagnosis, and Gillian had to stay in the hospital with Ailey. I signed up originally with my wee lassie Emily and told Gillian that Gemma had wanted us to do it. Nico and Finlay, who are co-workers with Gillian, also joined in. It's been a nice thing for our wee village. The challenge was to do 14 miles between the 7th and the 20th of April. It all started with trying to keep up with Gemma, occupied by going a walk each day, and folk just joining in. You have to stay positive as you can. Science is amazing these days. When you hear news like that, you don't really know what to do to help. We can't believe how much has been donated." Gemma, Elizabeth, and the rest of the walkers were joined by Gillian on the last night of the challenge and was overwhelmed by the support from local residents. There were about 50 people there, said Gillian. It's amazing. It's the first time I've joined, and as I've been in the hospital, most of the tie with Ailey has been cut. But it is lovely to turn up and do the last mile. We have a social worker assigned to us now because we have a child with cancer, and she was in the other day, and Young Lives versus Cancer is who she works for. Young Lives versus Cancer provides specialist social workers who are experts in helping families handle the day-to-day challenges that come with a child's cancer diagnosis. They work closely with doctors, nurses and other NHS professionals as an integral part of the team caring for children with cancer. You can donate to the fund at https://fundraising.younglivesvcancer.uk/fundraiser/Elizabeth Penman. And this article comes along with a full spread a double spread of pictures of everybody doing the walk. And there's Ailey herself, and there's her sister, Gillian, and there's lots of other children who are walking or on scooters or babies who are in prams. And the place is festooned with everybody who's supporting and encouraging her.
The headlines here are Nathan on red carpet at Roth World Premiere. Rising young star at glittering movie debut with Tim Roth. And this is by Michael Pringle. A West Lothian schoolboy who appears alongside Hollywood star Tim Roth in a samurai movie filmed in Scotland joined him and the rest of the cast on the red carpet for its premiere. Nathan Malone, 12, plays the boy in the movie Tornado, a film written and directed by John McClane and set in the late 18th century. The plot of Tornado surrounds a puppeteer's daughter who gets caught up with criminals when their show crosses the path of a crime gang. It's a bloody story of revenge that also stars Jack Lowden, Koki, Rory McCann and Takehiro Hira. It had its world premiere at the Glasgow Film Festival recently, and Nathan joined Tim Roth, who plays Sugar Man, on the red carpet as the movie was screened for the first time in its entirety to an audience. BAFTA award-winning winner Roth has appeared in a host of notable movies throughout his career, including Made in Britain, Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. Nathan's proud dad, Andy, said, Nathan's mum, Fiona, has worked as an extra and has been in Still Game and things like that. She has an agent. Nathan signed up with an agent of his own at the Performers Agency and he made a showreel. He then auditioned for the part in Tornado and was successful. He had a couple of weeks off school while they were out in the woods filming in the Pentlands. Tim Roth and the rest of the cast were great with him. He has a few lines in the film and he's definitely wanting to do more now. Nathan is a pupil at St Kentigern's High, whose former pupils include Lewis Capaldi and Susan Boyle. He rolled up in style to the premiere wearing traditional Scottish dress thanks to the Kilt Studio in Bathgate, accompanied by his mum Fiona. He said, "It was very exciting to do my first film. Tim was brilliant. He took me under his wing. It was amazing watching it in the cinema for the first time. I'm wanting to do more, 100%. Nathan's mum Fiona admits she felt very emotional seeing her son on the big screen in a feature film. She added, I'm super proud of him and acting is definitely what Nathan wants to do. After the red carpet event and being a part of the film, he said it's even more of a passion for him now." And there is a few photographs. There's one of Nathan and his mum at the red carpet event, and Nathan looking very, very smart in his lovely kilt and jacket and waistcoat, tie and shirt, and just looking the proper little gent there. And then there's also a picture taken from the film, and it shows Tim Roth and he's holding up a coin to Nathan, and the background is woods, and Nathan is wearing a brown sort of hat covering his ears and sort of brown homespun clothes And Tim Roth, he's all in leather. And as I say, he's holding up this coin in a leather glove to Nathan. And super, well done.
Grateful mum giving back to sanctuary that saved her son. Hazel raising money for great charity. And it's by Michael Pringle. A grateful mum from Bathgate is raising money for a mental health support organisation set up in memory of a young man from West Lothian. Hazel Surgeon, 43, is fundraising for Jamie's Sanctuary, using her skills as a medium as her way of saying thanks for the help her teenage son was given. Jamie's Sanctuary was launched by the family and friends of Jamie Aitchison, who took his own life in 2022, aged just 20. The non-profit grassroots organisation was launched by Jamie's mum, Debbie Ann Marriott, and his best friend, Cammy Moore, to help support people with mental health and addiction issues. Hazel's son, Ramsay, 19, lost his granddad, Billy, last April, aged 70. He had a very close bond with him and struggled to cope with the grief. Hazel suggested bereavement counselling to him, but he refused. Hazel revealed he was more of a father figure than a granddad to Ramsay. He was with him every day, helping him down the street or doing errands for him. He was with him till he took his last breath. After that, Ramsay started to go out more often to pubs in Bathgate, drinking and taking drugs. It was a road to destruction that was detrimental to his mental health. Drugs seem to be rife in West Lothian, and it's normalised to a degree which is frightening. Ramsay just got caught up with the wrong people. Ramsay's issues with the drink and drugs resulted in him doing things that had previously been out of character, including hurting others. He ended up in St John's Hospital on a number of occasions with suicidal thoughts. He told his mum that if he didn't get help, he wouldn't be here tomorrow. Contact was then made with Jamie's Sanctuary and they quickly stepped in. There's not enough support anywhere, Hazel continued. The hospital discharged him. They were going to refer him, but it was a waiting game and he didn't have time to wait. I was terrified I would lose my son. It was a terrible ordeal we went through as a family. He's going from strength to strength each day, and that's thanks to the wonderful Debbie Ann Marriott and her team of volunteers. I will never be able to thank them enough. I'm so grateful. Debbie Ann's son went through the same scenario with drugs and drink. Hazel, who is a psychic medium, has set up a GoFundMe page and is offering psychic readings in return for a minimum donation of £15, with all proceeds going to Jamie's Sanctuary. She added, they don't get funding from anywhere, so I think the community should pull together and give them something, even a couple of pounds. I could always see spirits and it used to frighten me. It was only after my mum passed away that I opened up to mediumship. I raised £750 in her memory for Macmillan. I'm self-taught and don't normally advertise myself, but I don't mind doing it for raising money for things that are worthwhile. Hazel's fundraising page can be found at gofundme.com/Jamie's Sanctuary, and it's accompanied by a photograph of Jamie Aitchison. It's captioned, Loved and Missed. It's a picture of a nice-looking young man in a black top with a silver ear stud. He's got short, fair hair and he's smiling into the camera.
Carer pinned woman's hands and slapped her, by Chris Gourley. A West Lothian carer pinned a woman's hands against her chest and slapped them several times. The incident took place while Mary Cotterill was employed as a care assistant by Peacock Medicare at Woodlands Nursing Home in Livingston, as she tried to avoid faeces transferring onto her uniform. While an investigation was launched by the Scottish Social Services Council, Cotterill resigned from her position and gained employment in the Scottish Borders. However, she failed to disclose an investigation into the incident was still ongoing, despite being asked by the SSSC. The council issued Cotterill with a 6 months warning on her registration as a result. The council told how Cotterill pinned a vulnerable person's hand to her chest before slapping her hands repeatedly in an attempt to avoid getting faeces on her uniform in September 2023. Cotterill then started her new role within the care sector in Hoyk around January 2024 and told the regulator she had informed her new employers of the activity and the active investigation into her aforementioned conduct. During a recent hearing, the council said Cotterill's behaviour fell below the standards expected of social service workers. They wrote, "You pinned down a vulnerable woman, pinned her hands down into her chest and slapped her hands several times while carrying out personal care. You did this to prevent faeces on the supporting person's hands transferring onto your uniform. You resigned from your position at Woodlands Nursing Home in Livingston and gained employment at SRC Care Solutions Limited, providing care at home to vulnerable people in the community during our investigation. You failed to inform the new employer of our investigation despite being advised to do so by the SSSC and then advised the SSSC that you had already done so. In mitigating circumstances, the SSSC said there are no previous misconduct cases against Cotterill, who has continued to work in the social service sector and has had a period of positive practice. They added how she provided a positive reference for her current employer and cooperated with their investigations.
3-year plan to help improve health services, and this is by Stuart Somerville. An ambitious 3-year project to improve GP and primary care services will be launched in West Lothian later this year. A report to the Local Integration Joint Board, which oversees care in the community, outlined plans to improve the inequalities which exist across the county in primary provision. The strategy plans to enhance preventative care and to develop better access to primary care, including GP and MDT teams. But the board is in no doubt that financial pressures as well as external economics dog the path ahead for both the council, NHS, and the work the board itself is responsible for. The plan is the first long-term proposal for primary care in West Lothian. It builds upon work already done to develop multidisciplinary care teams, MDT, to assist GP practices with services including community nurses, physiotherapy, as well as other services including dentistry and podiatry. The difficulty in getting appointments at GP practices has been a growing complaint across West Lothian, with frequent community objections to planning applications for more housing. The UB has acknowledged that there is an imbalance between poorer provision in the west of the county than in the east. In spite of this, East Calder's medical practice has long been recognised as a pressure point. It has a patient list which has far outgrown the practice, and the centre's building is in a poor state of repair, with not enough space to accommodate GP and associated MDT services. In his report to the board, Neil Ferguson, the General Manager for Primary Care and Community Services, acknowledged the risks. He said, "Risks to the sustainability of primary care could lead to reduced access to services for citizens and deterioration of the health of the local population. Collapse of an individual practice would fall to the Health and Social Care Partnership, HSCP, to provide services, which poses a significant financial risk in addition to significant challenges to service delivery. Another big potential challenge to the plan is finding staff to do the work. Recruitment and retention of primary care staff is already difficult. The plan suggests ongoing training and professional career development, and to support staff well-being through mental health resources and flexible working arrangements to encourage retention. It also suggests more partnership working with the third sector and voluntary roles. The 3-year plan is linked to the UB strategy of improving health inequalities, a home-first approach to treatment and enabling high-quality care, support and treatment. Informal engagement has taken place with West Lothian's GP practices, health and social care partnership, community teams and acute NHS Lothian representatives. The local medical committee and primary care contracts organisation representatives have also been consulted. The proposals also seek to ensure efficient use of health care premises by focusing on maximising clinical space and the use of remote working and assisting NHS Lothian to manage expansion and to reduce waiting times for primary care appointments. Board members generally welcomed the proposals, but highlighted concerns that initial consultation times were short. Given that the plans are set to come to the UB for approval before the summer and fully fledged proposals are supposed to be in place by later this year.
Chippy serves its last supper by Chris Gourley. An award-winning fish and chip shop in West Lothian has shut its doors, with its owners saying it had become increasingly difficult to stay open amid challenging economic times. Linlithgow-based eatery ZOG's, which bagged the Best Takeaway and Best Fish and Chip Shop titles at the 2018 and 2019 Edinburgh Business Awards, announced the closure on social media on Tuesday. The team admitted to struggling in the post-COVID environment, despite their best efforts to keep the business afloat. They posted, "Important announcement from ZOG's. We want to let you know that as of today, ZOG's will be closing its doors." They added, "This isn't an easy post to share. Like many small businesses, we've faced incredible challenges since COVID, and despite our best efforts, it's become increasingly difficult to keep going." In addition to traditional chip shop fare, ZOG's was known for its diverse fast food menu, including wraps, grilled kebabs and pizzas. The announcement prompted a flurry of messages from customers expressing their sadness at the closure. One customer commented, "So sorry to hear that, guys. Great food and service and a fantastic local business," reports Edinburgh Live. One individual expressed their sorrow. "I'm deeply sorry to hear this. It was an honour to work alongside you all. I wish you all the best of luck with your future." Another went on to say, "I'm absolutely gutted for you all. Loved a wee visit when I was down that way. Wishing you all the very best for the future."
And that brings us to the end of part 1. And in part 2, family announcements will be included. Welcome to part 2, and we will begin with the family announcements. This week there are 4 of them, and all are deaths. Benassi, Adriano Pietro Giuseppe, from Whitburn. Aged 90, peacefully at Deanston Care Home, Coatbridge, on Sunday the 13th of April 2025. Adriano, devoted and dearly loved husband to Maureen, cherished father to Paula and Kevin, beloved papa to Harry, Olivia and Ella, highly respected and loved father-in-law, brother-in-law, uncle and friend. Reception and vigil prayers at St Joseph's RC Church, Whitburn, on Friday 2nd of May at 6 p.m. Funeral Mass on Saturday 3rd of May at 10 a.m. and thereafter 11 a.m. at Blaeberry Cemetery, Whitburn. Afterwards, reception at St Joseph's Church Hall, to which all family and friends are respectfully invited. Heron, Ian. Unexpectedly but peacefully, with his loving family by his side, at St John's Hospital on Monday the 21st of April 2025, Ian, aged 78 years. Loving husband, dad, stepdad and granddad. Ian's funeral service will be held at West Lothian Crematorium on Wednesday 30th of April at 2 p.m, to which all family and friends are respectfully invited. Ian was from Fauldhouse. Horn, William, from Livingston. peacefully passed away at home on Saturday, 12th of April 2025, aged 89. Loving father to Billy, David and Graham, and proud grandfather to Courtney and Nadia. Bill's service will be held at West Lothian Crematorium on Wednesday, 30th of April 2025 at 12 noon. Timmins, Winifred, 7/7/39 till 8/4/25. The family are sad to announce the death of Winifred Timmins, née Skelton. Winifred passed away peacefully at Livingston Care Home on Tuesday, the 8th of April 2025, aged 85 years. A funeral service, to which all family and friends are welcome, will be held at St John Cantius and St Nicholas, Broxburn, on Monday 28th of April at 9:30 a.m, thereafter to Rathos Cemetery. All inquiries to Scottmid Funerals, Deans, on 01506 533 566. And that brings us to the end of the family announcements, so we will go on with general news now, and Kate.
MPs team up in bid to save Grangemouth, by Michael Pringle. West Lothian MPs Gregor Poynton and Christine Sullivan are among a 5-strong group of Westminster parliamentarians to sign a joint letter urging that a new future is secured for the oil refinery site in Grangemouth. The group of Labour MPs representing constituencies with close economic and community ties to Grangemouth have jointly written to both the UK and Scottish governments, urging them to mobilise their international networks to help secure a new industrial future for the site. In letters sent to the Foreign Secretary David Lammy, Secretary of State for Scotland Ian Murray, and Business and Trade Secretary Jonathan Reynolds, as well as to First Minister John Sweeney and External Affairs Secretary Angus Robertson, the MPs included those for the Livingston constituency and the Bathgate and Linlithgow constituency, call for a coordinated international drive to attract investment into Project Willow, the clean energy initiative developed in response to Petrionov's planned closure of the refinery. The joint UK-Scottish government response to the closure, announced last year, included a £100 million package for the community and a £1.5 million Project Willow study identifying new industrial opportunities at the site, including low-carbon hydrogen, clean e-fuels and sustainable aviation fuels. As well as Gregor Poynton and Kirstine Sullivan, the letters were co-signed by Ewan Strathbank, MP Falkirk, Chris Kane, MP Stirling and Strathallan, and Brian Leishman, MP Alloa and Grangemouth. Leading the call, Gregor Poynton, MP for Livingston, said, "This is a moment for crisis for Grangemouth, but also a moment of opportunity. Project Willow could anchor a clean industrial renaissance for Scotland, but it won't happen by accident. We need embassies, trade offices and international networks working flat out to attract investment and identify partners who can help bring these technologies to scale." Poynton's letter to the UK government urges the Foreign Office and Department for Business and Trade to instruct embassies and consulates to actively promote their project. His letter to the Scottish Government calls for a similar push through Scotland's 7 overseas offices. The Scottish and UK governments have made the right moves in committing funding and working together, but we now need action that matches the scale of the challenge, Poynton added. The refinery will shut its doors next year. Thousands of livelihoods and the future of Scotland's industrial base are at stake. This demands urgency, internationalism and coordination.
This is a long article and it's headed up "Fears for Summer of Rats as Reports on Increase." An upsurge in rats in West Lothian has seen the council receive over 300 requests for pest control treatments last year. There are concerns the rise in reports around Livingston and other West Lothian towns may be the tip of the iceberg, as the council doesn't have records of calls to private pest control companies. There are also fears that growing fly tipping and rubbish dumping are fueling the spread of vermin, despite the efforts of litter pickers to clear up. Changes in the way we live and eat have added to the problems. The growth of vermin has come on the back of the spread of fast food and selfish littering, with at least 250 million pieces of litter thrown away each year, according to Zero Waste Scotland. And as summer nears, there are fears that rat numbers will grow. Homeowners and tenants across Livingston have complained of growing problems from rat infestation. West Lothian Council stressed this week it can help tenants. SNP councillor Maria Macaulay raised questions about rat infestation at the recent meeting of the full council after Dedridge residents had faced growing problems. She told the local democracy reporting service, "I know there have been issues in Bathgate too, so Dedridge is sadly not an isolated incident. I'm aware that the removal of bins and increase in fly tipping hasn't helped. However, Dedridge litter pickers do an amazing job in Dedridge to deter this and frequently post the vast amounts picked up." Now, her SNP colleague in Northern Livingston, Councillor Andrew Miller, has been asked to raise the issue again following complaints of rat infestation as work goes on to redevelop Deans South. Ghost estate campaigner Kerry McIntosh found an infestation of rats attacking the newly built homes within months of moving in last May. And while recognising that the building work may be disturbing nests, Kerry McIntosh has also blamed the human element. Kerry first discovered rats had invaded her garden when she moved bikes in her garden. At first she thought moles had invaded before realising that rats were digging under her garden fence. She actually caught the vermin invaders on camera as she began tackling around a dozen holes dug under the fence, which is adjacent to a footpath on the newly built estate. The new homes are surrounded by building work, but elsewhere rubbish is piled in gardens in black bags. She has filled in the rat holes and laid rat bait, but the rats continue to burrow, and she fears they will eventually destabilise the fence. She told the LDRS, "Whether it's Dedridge or Knightsbridge or Deans, rats are a big problem. It's wonderful what the litter pickers are doing, but there are some people who don't give a toss and just leave food and rubbish out in their gardens or in bin stores. That's what's encouraging rats." She called for those who deliberately rubbish their neighbourhoods to be charged by the council. Kerry, who is an active member of her local litter picking group, told the LDRS, "There's no excuse for folk who deliberately dump their rubbish on the streets or in gardens. It's disrespectful to their neighbours and people in the community." But Kerry also called on the council to show a bit of leeway to those who were struggling and couldn't pay for bulky rubbish uplifts or those who amass rubbish in their gardens. The council does need to show a bit of leeway and help people who are clearly struggling. It needs to offer support if folk cannot afford bulky uplift charges or people are piling up rubbish in their gardens, she added. Kerry also called for more dog waste bins as fouling has become another obvious problem on the newly rebuilt streets of Deans South. A spokesperson for West Lothian Council said, "It is widely reported that social changes such as an increase in fast food litter, food packaging being littered, building development, habitat and climate change have always played a part in pest control, and there is no one issue that contributes to the issues being felt across the country. Food litter is one issue that contributes towards an increase in pest control services. Keep Scotland Beautiful declared a litter emergency in 2022. And Zero Waste Scotland estimate that every year 250 million items of litter are discarded across Scotland. This equates to 15,000 tonnes of litter collected annually, or nearly 50 pieces of litter for every person in Scotland. And at least £60 million of public money is spent annually to clean up litter, money that could be better spent on other services. The spokesperson added that is in addition to the work of community volunteers who play such an important role. Keep Scotland Beautiful found that the majority of litter in Scotland is a result of pedestrian activity. In other words, a personal choice not to dispose of litter by an individual appropriately. These behaviours increase the burden on local authorities and volunteers in managing the cleanliness of streets in Scotland. Rats are only one pest that our pest control service deal with. There are often too many factors likely to have supported rat activity at a location, and numbers can fluctuate for various reasons. The responsibility to address any issues with rats will rest with the owner or occupier of land affected. That includes owners and occupiers of domestic and commercial property. The pest control team will assist owners and occupiers with treatment and advice if requested. They continued, West Lothian Council offers a pest control service for council tenants and non-council tenants, and our prices are generally below average when compared to the many private operators. Given the cost of living increases over recent years, it is not surprising that there has been an increase in demand for our service, which receives very good customer reviews and is part of the Trusted Trader initiative.
Selms project shortlisted for major funding by Michael Pringle. Selms Muir Hydrogen Project in Livingston has been shortlisted for UK government funding. The funding, through the second Hydrogen Allocation Round, HAR2, has been described by Gregor Poynton MP as a game-changing opportunity for the local economy and Scotland's clean energy ambitions. The Selms Muir Hydrogen Project is one of 27 innovative hydrogen schemes across the UK to progress to the next stage of the government's flagship HAR2 programme. The Livingston Hydrogen Scheme is a collaboration between HyGen, a leading developer in the UK, and European Energy, a global developer of renewable power. If successful, the Selms Muir project will deliver a 20-megawatt electrolyser hub capable of producing 6 tonnes of low-carbon hydrogen a day, with the potential to power buses, construction equipment and heavy vehicles across West Lothian and beyond. The site will be co-located with the Selms Muir Solar Farm, an 18-megawatt facility already granted planning permission in 2022. The combined energy hub is expected to displace over 420,000 tonnes of CO2 over its 40-year lifespan, which would make a significant contribution to Scotland's net zero targets. Kevin Selslag's HyGen CEO said, "Today's announcement recognises the importance both of this scheme and of the role hydrogen will play in our journey to net zero. This project is unique in its ambition. It will enable deployment of the UK's first fully zero-carbon municipal bus fleet, while simultaneously developing the business case for the delivery of a fully consented renewable energy project." Mark Evans, the Vice President and Head of UK and Ireland in European Energy, said, "We're expanding to add hydrogen production to our solar, wind and battery storage activities in the UK. With our expertise from the sector in Denmark, we believe that there is also a business case for green hydrogen production in the UK." Gregor Poynton, MP for Livingston, welcomed the news of the shortlisting for funding. He said, "Being shortlisted for funding is a real boost for the Livingston constituency and a real vote of confidence in West Lothian's role in Scotland's clean energy future. The shortlisting of the Selmsmuir Hydrogen Project is a game-changing opportunity, not just to cut emissions and tackle the climate emergency, but to create skilled jobs, attract long-term investment, and help re-industrialise our communities with clean, green technologies. This project puts the Livingston constituency at the heart of Scotland's hydrogen revolution, working in tandem with solar power to help build a resilient, low-carbon economy. I look forward to working with local partners, government and industry to make this vision a reality. The HAR2 programme, managed by the UK Government's Department for Energy Security and Net Zero, forms part of the UK Government's plan for change and ambition to have up to 10 gigawatts of low-carbon hydrogen production by 2030, at least half of which will be green hydrogen. If awarded final funding, the Selmsmuir project could contribute significantly to that target while delivering jobs for engineers, welders, pipe fitters and technicians in West Lothian and the wider Scottish economy.
Individual confronted by team of vigilantes. A man appeared to faint on a live video after being confronted by a self-styled child protection team. The individual was approached earlier this month at an industrial estate in Livingston after a member of the group claimed to have reversed into his van. The man was then confronted about alleged communication offences while being filmed sitting on the ground with his head in his hands. The man appeared to faint during the video as the man confronting him tells him to get a grip while shaking his arm. He's then seen sitting up with a bottle of water. After half an hour, the police arrived at the scene and take him into custody. A Police Scotland spokesperson said, a 26-year-old man has been arrested and charged in connection with communications offences in the Livingston area. He is due to appear at Livingston Sheriff Court in April.
Garden Centre links up with Brain Charity. Dobby's Garden Centre in Livingston will be linking with Alzheimer's Research UK to mark Dementia Action Week next month. Dementia Action Week takes place from May the 19th to the 25th, and Dobby's is highlighting the benefits of garden living for brain health while helping raise vital funds to find a cure for dementia through a free-to-attend Grow How workshop. Physical activity, learning new skills and keeping connected with others are just some of the things we can do to help reduce our risk of dementia. May's Grow How event, Love Your Lawn, will take place in the Livingston store on Saturday, May the 3rd and Wednesday, May the 7th at 10:30am and 3:30pm. It's for people of all ages and gardening abilities. Dobby's Green Team will give a demonstration around lawn care, going back to the basics and illustrating the importance of maintenance for a healthy lawn. The demonstrations are flexible, fun and interactive and last around 15 minutes. During this session, there will be an activity centred around repairing a lawn with grass plugs, giving everyone the chance to have a go. To book May's free Grow How session, Love Your Lawn, visit www.dobbies.com/events. And there's a very happy picture here of one of the Dobbies staff, a lady, and she's holding the Alzheimer's Research UK fundraising bucket, and two ladies from Alzheimer's Research UK on either side, and they're standing in the garden, Dobby's Garden Centre, surrounded with plants and three very smiley people.
Country Road Death Unexplained by Iona Young. Police have launched an investigation after the unexplained death of a woman on a country road. Cops were called to a rural road in West Lothian on April the 21st, just before 6am, after reports of a death. Officers raced to the scene and blocked off Sibbald's Brae on the outskirts of Bathgate after being made aware of the death of a woman, reports Edinburgh Live. It's not thought to be suspicious, but a full probe will be carried out. A Police Scotland spokesperson confirmed the death of the woman in a short statement. The spokesperson continued, "At approximately 5:45 a.m. on Monday, April the 21st, we were made aware of the death of a woman on Sibbald's Brae, Bathgate. The death is being treated as unexplained, but not believed to be suspicious. A report will be sent to the Procurator Fiscal in due course."
And that brings us to the end of part 2. And in part 3, we will begin with the quiz. Welcome to part 3, and we will start with this week's quiz. Question 1. What is the official country residence of the British Prime Minister? Is it Chequers, Camp David, or Chevening? Question 2. Chinese gooseberry is another name for what? Is it avocado, kiwi fruit, or apple? Question 3. In which European country is the port of Stavanger? Is it in Finland? Is it in Norway? Or is it in Denmark? Question 4. In which country was the late Pope Francis born? Was it Brazil, or Colombia, or Argentina? Question 5. Which former England Test cricketer is known as Beefy? Is that Ian Botham? Or is it Mike Gatting? Or perhaps Graham Gooch? And question 6. What nationality was the Labour politician Donald Dewar? Was he Welsh? Was he Scottish? Or was he English? And those are the quiz questions for this week. Good luck with them. And we'll now go on with more general news and Kate.
Manufacturer investing in leaders' skills. 6 rising stars at Scotland's largest vaccine manufacturer, Valneva, Scotland, have embarked on an emerging leaders programme, equipping them with skills for life and helping unlock their full potential. Throughout 2024, Valneva Scotland has invested a significant 6-figure sum in training and development initiatives for its highly skilled team based at the state-of-the-art manufacturing facility in Livingston. To continually provide development opportunities and boost future leadership, 6 colleagues were selected from their end-of-the-year review as high-potential individuals for this course. Covering multiple departments and skill sets including human resources, quality and manufacturing, the 6 candidates are Nicole Clark, Hannah Minstone, Louise Nugent, Erin McNabb, Laura McHugh and Rachel Wilson. Jeanette Rigby, Director Human Resources at Valneva Scotland Limited, added, "Leadership and specifically supporting our aspiring colleagues in the leadership roles is a key component of our people plan. We are proud to offer a range of development opportunities for our team, but this Emerging Leaders Programme is a new offering from Valverna. We've already seen the impact." And this is actually accompanied by a beautiful picture of the 6 young ladies looking very happy and full of joy in a garden and being proud of their achievements.
Holiday Lodge plans rejected. North Lanarkshire Council's Planning Committee has unanimously rejected plans to build a tourism development with 60 holiday lodges at Bridge Hill Farm near the village of Hart Hill. Councillors dismissed the application without question or debate, with the outcome in line with recommendations contained in a report from planning officers. This report stated the proposal did not provide evidence of suitable access to the site for vehicles or pedestrians and would create a sporadic and isolated development, which would adversely affect the landscape. It also said that there was insufficient information to demonstrate the business would be viable or benefit the local economy, that noise, flooding and drainage would be adequately handled and biodiversity at the site would be protected. The application, which also sought planning permission for a 3-bedroomed manager's house, as well as the 60 lodges, as well as a temporary workshop, as well as a camping area with toilet block. Other features included an office, entertainment venue / shop, and facilities for go-karting and crazy golf. The applicant also argued that the lodges would legally be considered as caravans, as they were capable of being moved, and because of their size, with access to be via a new road junction on Blair Mucklehole and Forest Dyke Road. During consultation on the proposals, the Council's Roads Department requested deferring the decision until it was confirmed that various features could be provided, including adequate parking, access would be able to accommodate bin lorries, and suitable surface water drainage would be there to protect the public road. However, no such information was provided by the applicant. Other officials expressed concern over the site's proximity to Forest Burn Reservoir, which is classed within SEPA's high-risk category for reservoirs.
Builders backing for Grow Group by Michael Pringle. An Easter event for the community in Winchborough will be a little bit brighter thanks to the backing of a house builder. Cala Homes East has unveiled a range of community support initiatives for residents in the village that have been designed to provide long-term benefits to residents. The community pledge for the company's Millgate Lawns development has been developed alongside Winchborough Developments Limited, WDL, and a number of local groups. It includes a bespoke programme of activities. Cala's ongoing collaboration with Winchborough's Community Growing Group will continue through a series of annual projects, including an annual investment of £1,000 to the group every year until 2027. John West, co-founder of Winchborough's Community Growing Group, said, "We are proud to be one of the most active community groups in Winchborough, working tirelessly from March through to October each year to make a positive impact. We are currently preparing for our much-anticipated Easter event, which is a real highlight for the local community. Cala's generous £1,000 donation this year will play a huge part in helping us provide fantastic entertainment, including stilt walkers, to ensure families have a memorable day out. In the past, Cala's support has helped us purchase compost, sleepers and seeds, all of which have played a key role in transforming our 1.5-acre growing space. Their continued support will also help us deliver future projects, which we're incredibly grateful for." He added, "Without the backing of house builders like Cala, it would be incredibly difficult for us to continue putting on free community events and maintaining the positive momentum we've built over the years." The Show Home of Support initiative provides a unique platform for 10 businesses within a 10-mile radius of the site to showcase their products to prospective homeowners within the designs of Cala's show homes, which launched in January. Cala is also in discussions with Winchborough Developments Limited regarding the establishment of a joint community chest fund. This initiative would see both Cala and WDL contributing to a fund which aims to give local community groups the opportunity to apply for funding. Further information on timings and applications will be shared on the WDL and Cala websites in due course. The house builder has also established valuable links with local schools. Last year, Cala delivered its Stay Safe, Stay Away presentation to pupils at Winchborough Primary School, promoting safety awareness around construction sites. Cala also continues to collaborate with Winchborough Academy as part of its ongoing partnership programme. This initiative aims to inspire and educate students about career opportunities within the construction industry. Elaine Carrigan, Sales and Marketing Director at Cala Homes East, said, "Our community pledge for Millgate Lawns is designed to create a lasting positive impact for the residents of Winchborough. From supporting well-established community groups to celebrating local businesses through our show home of support, our aim is to strengthen the bonds within this vibrant community. We're excited to continue working with local groups and organisations, collaborating on initiatives that will make a tangible difference for years to come." The Millgate Lawns Community Pledge follows similar successful projects in West Lothian, including Winchborough's Oakbank, Linlithgow's Preston Glade, and Calderwood's East Calder initiatives. Prices for 3-bedroom homes at Millgate Lawns, launched in August 2024, start from £284,995. It offers a fantastic variety of 3, 4 and 5-bedroom homes. An open viewing weekend for the 3-bedroom homes takes place from April the 25th to the 27th. And there's a photograph alongside this story. It's a beautiful picture. It's got John West, the co-founder of Winchborough's community growing group, bending down over a planter in the sunshine, and the planter is full of lavender.
And continuing with Winchborough news. Winchborough Bowlers open green for their new season by Ross Thompson. Winchborough Bowling Club officially opened the green in a celebration that brought the community together in true village spirit. The ceremonial jack was thrown by current match secretary Kenny McKinnon, followed by the first bowl from men's champion Andy Walker, a dedicated member since 1980. With a proud history spanning over 110 years, the club continues to be a cornerstone of the rapidly growing village. There's been a noticeable increase in both bowling and social memberships, a testament to the club's commitment to creating a welcoming and inclusive environment for all. Looking ahead, the club has exciting plans to open its kitchen and start serving food from early next month. In the meantime, the newly decorated lounge is open to everyone, no membership required. With the recent closure of the village pub, it has quickly become one of the few remaining local spaces to meet and socialise. The club regularly hosts live in the lounge music nights and larger events in its function hall, which holds up to 180 guests and is available for hire for weddings, parties and other special occasions. Winchborough Bowling Club is proudly run by a committee of dedicated volunteers led by President David Gemmell. His passion for the club and tireless drive to improve it have been a true source of inspiration as the club looks to an exciting future. And this is actually accompanied by 7 different photographs, and it's all of men playing the first bowl, playing the jack, and then there's a wonderful picture of 25 men of all ages actually with their uniforms or their bowling jumpers on, looking very pleased with the situation.
Father's Paternity Campaign Support. Livingston's MP has joined hundreds of fathers in supporting a national campaign for increased paternity leave. The national campaign group, The Dad Shift, celebrated the 22nd anniversary of the introduction of statutory paternity leave. New research shows its introduction by Labour while in government in 2003 has benefited dads to 4 million babies across the UK. Gregor Poynton MP has joined dozens of other Labour MPs in backing the campaign. He said, "By increasing statutory paternity leave, we can give fathers the necessary support to play an active role in their family life. I'm looking forward to supporting this campaign by hosting a future event in the Livingston constituency, where I can hear directly from fathers about the support they need. I'm committed to working with government to stand up for dads in my constituency and across the UK.
And another bowling club, East Calder Bowling Club opening. Local MP opens club's latest season by Ross Thompson. East Calder Bowling Club officially opened its 2025 season last weekend with a community celebration, welcoming locals of all ages to take part. The event was marked by a ceremonial throw of the jack by Livingston MP Gregor Poynton, who was on hand to help officially launch the new season. The club, based on Main Street in East Calder, has long been at the heart of the community, not just as a sporting venue, but as a hub for local social life. Earlier this year, Gregor visited the club to meet with a former club president, Frank Duffy, and current club treasurer, Pauline Cowan, to learn more about the history of the club and their plans for the future. This year's opening day brought together members, families and first-time visitors, all encouraged to try their hand at the game and enjoy the club's welcoming atmosphere. Club treasurer Pauline Cowan said, "Thank you to Gregor for opening our season. Hopefully we'll see him back on the green soon. Our club has been part of the community for 120 years, offering sporting and social activities. We look forward to welcoming people from our growing community to come along and be part of our next 120 years. Gregor, as a social member of the club, has also sponsored Greenside advertising, which was unveiled on the day. With the green officially open, East Calder Bowling Club is inviting locals to come down throughout the season and to get involved with the club and sport. Gregor Poynton MP added, "Clubs like this are the backbone of our communities, where friendships are formed, traditions are kept alive, and everyone is welcome. It was an honour to be able to officially open the season and to see East Calder Bowling Club thriving and continuing to bring people together." And there are a number of photographs. The bowling green looks in great shape. There's a lot of people who are attending. The first picture, or the biggest picture, is of Gregor Poynton throwing the ceremonial jack. But there's also pictures in the clubhouse where people are having a lovely time. They're all sitting at tables in a very nice, warm-looking clubhouse. And there's also a happy little dog wearing a nice blue coat who's been brought along to enjoy the occasion.
Young Designers Wanted for Comp by Ross Thompson. Budding young designers in West Lothian are being encouraged to bring their design talents to the fore and create a fantastic outdoor space. Scotmid is calling on creative young minds to showcase their talents in a special competition celebrating the International Year of Cooperatives. This exciting challenge invites youth establishments to design a stunning garden that will become a permanent feature at Scotmid's head office in Edinburgh. Inspired by the way bees work together as a cooperative, entrants are encouraged to create a design that reflects the spirit of cooperation and community while supporting our essential pollinators. "We're thrilled to offer young people the chance to bring their garden designs to life," said Lynn Peacock, Membership and Communities Manager at Scotmid. This competition not only highlights the importance of creativity, but also fosters a sense of community and environmental responsibility. The competition is open to all young people, and the winning entry will see their garden design brought to life. The winner will also receive a framed print of their design, £200 of fundraising vouchers for their school or youth group, and a special goodie bag featuring exclusive merchandise. The young designers can send their creations via email to competition@scotmid.co.uk or by post to Garden Competition, Scotmid Co-op, Hillwood House, Newbridge, EH 28 8QJ. Entries are welcome until May the 16th. Full competition details, including terms and conditions, are available on the website scotmid.coop/garden competition.
Keep an Eye on Elderly Appeal by Michael Pringle. A home care company is urging families in West Lothian to watch for signs that elderly loved ones may need extra support from others. The warning from Home Instead West Lothian came as the long holiday weekend took place, a time when families often get together and may notice that an ageing loved one needs some help. The care business has launched a new free checklist which families can use to assess how an individual is doing within their home. Graham Stevenson, owner of Home Instead West Lothian, said Easter's a special time for families to come together, making it the perfect opportunity to check in on elderly loved ones. Small changes in their behaviour or home environment can be early signs that they need extra support. Our free checklist is designed to help families recognise these signs and ensure their loved ones continue to live safely and comfortably. Home Instead West Lothian helps support older people to live independently and safely at home, and its carers, known as care professionals, help with everything from personal care and home help to companionship and specialist care such as dementia or Parkinson's support. Graham continued, "We strongly encourage people to have a conversation about care earlier so that it doesn't reach a crisis point when perhaps mum or dad has a fall and has to go into hospital. If you address any issues earlier, it can help your loved one to stay at home for longer, a place where they can feel content with their cherished memories and possessions." You can download a checklist by visiting their website at careconversations.co.uk or speak to Home Instead by calling them on 01506 346 046. You can also email info.westlothian@homeinstead.co.uk.
We have now come to the end of part 3, and in part 4, some local sports news will be included. Welcome to part 4, and we will begin with the answers to the quiz. Question 1 was, what is the official country residence of the British Prime Minister? The answer was Chequers. Question 2. Chinese gooseberry is another name for what? That's a kiwi fruit. Question 3. In which European country is the port of Stavanger? It's in Norway. Question 4. In which country was the late Pope Francis born? He was born in Argentina. Question 5. Which former England Test cricketer is known as Beefy? That's Ian Beefy Botham. And the last question. What nationality was the Labour politician Donald Dewar? He was Scottish. Those are the answers to the quiz for today, and I hope that you did well. So we will now continue with section 4. There'll be some sports news in it, I hope, as well, with general news and Kate.
Rose Boss left furious. Linlithgow Rose boss Gordon Herd has branded his side's season as a failure and blasted his side for losing to lowly Cumbernauld Colts on the final day of the Lowland League. The Gallant were looking to finish third in the division, but a shock 2-0 defeat to Colts, who were fighting to avoid a relegation playoff, left Herd furious as they tumbled to fifth. "Finishing fifth for the season we've had is a failure," he said. We've had good spells, but we've had a few results that shouldn't have happened. And those results have killed us. We could be so far up the table, but you need to be consistent to win league titles. Cumbernauld were thoroughly deserved winners. They worked harder than usual on the ball, and their game plan was bang on. I thought going into this after wins over East Kilbride and Cali Braves, we could have gone and secured 3rd or 4th place, but we've blown it. Rose can clinch silverware on Sunday when they face Dunbar in the East of Scotland qualifying cup final at Christy Gillis Park. Herd added, "We've got a cup final on Sunday, but that is a million miles away right now. That performance was shocking. The boys in there have a lot of making up to do."
Lions staying in title hunt. McGowan, Livy hitting form at business end. And this is by Paul Thompson. Livingston defender Ryan McGowan reckons the Lions are finding their best form at the business end of the season after securing a playoff spot and keeping on Falkirk's coattails at the top of the championship. The West Lothian outfit hammered Ayr United 5-0 on Friday the 18th and then watched the Bairns slip up at home to Wraith Rovers on Saturday with a 2-1 defeat. They're keeping the Lions within 3 points of them with 2 games to go. Second spot is now secure, meaning 2 games less to play, should they fall to pip the Bairns to the title and fall into the playoffs for promotion. Livy now travel to crisis-hit Hamilton Accies on Saturday the 26th of April. Who are still reeling from a 15-point deduction for breaching SPFL rules that will see them relegated subject to an appeal. And McGowan feels the Lions are saving their best until the last few games of the season, with the Premiership playoffs still looking like their most likely road to securing an immediate return to the top flight. The Aussie ace said, "In the position we're in, we need to make sure that we are firing on all cylinders come the end of the season. It is important for us as a squad to make sure we are hitting our straps at the business end. It was a cracking night for us on Friday. I thought we played really well. If we've had issues throughout the season, it has probably come down to us not taking our chances. But we showed when we are in full flow and we take our chances, we can do really well. It was an important game for us to get that second spot secured, and if we keep hitting those levels, we'll be a pretty hard team to beat." Livingston have won 5 of their last 6 games and are on a 3-game winning streak going into this Saturday's clash, and they will know the task facing them with Falkirk playing Partick Thistle in a televised clash on Friday night. McGowan added, "Our performances are great for confidence. Although we have been relatively consistent throughout the season, so confidence has never been an issue for us as a team. It's just a couple of games where we've stumbled and let ourselves down. We know we're a good team and we've had some really good results throughout the season to keep this thing going."
Linlithgow kid Wilson signs new Jambos deal by Andy McGilvray. Hearts star James Wilson has signed a new 2-year deal at the Premiership club alongside teammate Adam Forrester. Wilson, 18, from Linlithgow, has penned a deal until 2027, with the potential to extend it further. The former Linlithgow Rose kid has made quite an impact on the Tynecastle club since breaking through to the first team this season, scoring 6 times. Striker Wilson is also the youngest player to play for Scotland, having come on as a sub during a 3-0 Nations League defeat against Greece at Hampden last month. The former Linlithgow Bridge primary pupil broke into the top team at Hearts in October and has thrived since. Forrester, 20, has signed until 2028. Boss Neil Critchley said it's great news that both James and Adam have committed their futures to the club. They've both contributed massively to the first team in their debut seasons, and with the more important games to come, we're confident that their attitude towards learning and their desire to improve means that they have a big future at the club. It's important to remember that neither is the finished article yet. They're young players who will continue to develop, and the experiences they've encountered this season will be invaluable to their growth as first-team players. We are very proud to see 2 Hearts Academy graduates rewarded with fully merited new contracts, and a great deal of credit goes to our academy staff. We look forward to watching them pull on the maroon shirt in the months and years ahead. And there's a photograph of James. He is indeed wearing his maroon shirt, and he's standing on what looks like a rainy pitch.
The following article is from the most recent West Lothian Bulletin. Award-winning composer strikes the right note at West Lothian schools. The award-winning film composer of the music scores for films like Brave, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire and Thor visited senior pupils at 2 Blackburn primary school recently. Murrayfield and Blackburn primary schools welcome Patrick Doyle, who has composed music for a huge number of famous films and movie projects. Classically trained composer Patrick, who is originally from Uddingston in neighbouring South Lanarkshire, shared some of his experiences from his glittering career in film, theatre and TV. His talk provided a fascinating insight into the role of composer, as well as sharing incredible tales of his time on film sets around the world, which has included working with the legendary directors such as Kenneth Branagh, Mike Newell, and on famous movies including Carlotta's Way, Nanny McPhee, and Bridget Jones's Diary. Blackburn and Murrayfield head teacher Kevin McCabe said, "It was fantastic to welcome Patrick Doyle to speak to the pupils from both Murrayfield and Blackburn primaries." Patrick has had an amazing career composing music for a wide range of top films and movies, and shared stories from his time working on them. Many thanks to Patrick for giving up his time to come to speak to us and perhaps inspire some of our pupils to consider a career in music or the arts in the future. And this is accompanied by 10 young students, all surrounding both their head teacher and the composer.
Now we're jumping back to the Courier here for a report from Chief Inspector Elaine MacArthur Kerr. And it's headed, New Approach to Help Kids Avoid a Life of Crime. In her recent report to the SPA board, Chief Constable Joe Farrell mentioned a new collaborative approach being undertaken within West Lothian, which aims to help young people move away from criminal behaviour. We are just getting started, but this column provides me with an ideal opportunity to provide some initial context as to what it will entail. Supporting Opportunities for Life, SOL, is a service being delivered by our officers in partnership with the charity Aid and Abet, and sees peer mentors being provided to work alongside police in West Lothian and engage with young people aged 10 to 25 in schools, colleges and in the community. Through early intervention and using the lived experience of the mentors, SOL will help to support the young people break that cycle of offending or risk of offending, increase confidence to make positive life changes, improve their well-being and identify education, training or work opportunities. The Scottish Violence Reduction Unit will offer specialist insights and support in the initiation and running of the project, and I am extremely grateful for their support of this very worthwhile project. Stay tuned to our social media channels for more information and updates on SOL in the coming weeks and months. As we've said many times before, one of our top priorities in West Lothian is tackling drug crime and the knock-on impact these offences have on the wider community. The sale of drugs fund other organised criminal activity, and dealers prey upon and exploit vulnerable members of the public, particularly those living with addiction issues. On a daily basis, officers from our proactive unit, with support from uniformed colleagues, act on intelligence to identify those responsible for drug offences and conduct enforcement activity to bring them to justice. Recently, we executed a warrant at a property in Park Place, Livingston, where a sizable quantity of herbal cannabis was seized from within. A 32-year-old man was charged under the Misuse of Drugs Act and will appear in court at a later date. The potential value of the drugs was £200,000, and by recovering it, we have put a dent in the operations of organised crime groups within our region. Enforcement activity like this is only possible because of the assistance of the public, so my plea to our communities is to come forward with any information they may have in relation to ongoing drug crime in their area. Please rest assured all information we received will be handled in the strictest confidence. However, it can also be passed to the charity Crime Stoppers anonymously by calling 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. I want to conclude this column with a reminder to everyone on the importance of water safety, particularly during holiday periods and in the coming months as we begin to experience warmer weather. West Lothian has several open water sources, including rivers, canals and reservoirs. For anyone who is tempted to use these bodies of water to cool down or spend time socialising with friends, please remember that while the water might seem calm, looks can be deceiving and there are many dangers. Reservoirs are deep and the water just below the surface is icy cold, even in summer. Cold water can send your body into shock in seconds. They also have strong water currents, which combined with the deep cold water can challenge even the strongest of swimmers. Wherever you choose to swim outdoors, there could be hidden underwater obstacles such as pipework or stone and concrete structures. If you dive in, you don't know what you might hit. Steep, slippery banks can make it tricky to get back out of the water. Please always consider your safety and do not put yourself at risk, particularly when there is no supervision or means to quickly alert emergency services to you being in difficulty.
And the next story is taken from the most recent edition of the West Lothian Council Bulletin. Winchborough ceremony marks school campus completion. A special ceremony has been held to mark the official opening of Winchborough Academy and the neighbouring sport and wellbeing hub. It also marks the end of the £61 million project to deliver 3 new schools and shared sports facility, which is West Lothian's largest ever investment in education. Christine Sullivan, MP for Bathgate and Linlithgow, unveiled special plaques that will be put in place on each building. She said both the school and hub have been open for some time and have already proven themselves to be huge assets for the growing community of Winchborough. The new schools are required to cope with the demand for school places in the growing core development of Winchborough, with at least 3,800 new homes expected to be built. Funding for the new schools comes from developer contributions from Winchborough Developments Limited, which developers are legally required to make as a condition of building homes in the area. The construction of the Winchborough Schools project was delivered on time and on budget on behalf of West Lothian Council by development partner Hub South East, with Morrison Construction as the primary contractor. Christine Sullivan is also quoted as saying, "I'd like to thank everyone involved in delivering the Winchborough Schools project for their hard work to provide such superb facilities for learning for our young people." And there's a lovely photograph taken outside Winchborough Academy on a nice sunny day. And there's some very smart pupils from the school, senior pupils from the school, alongside Christine Sullivan and also the senior leadership team from Winchborough Academy.
The following article is also taken from the most recent West Lothian Bulletin. Kitch Pitch goal achieved at Our Ladies. A West Lothian primary school has been celebrating the opening of the newly refurbished kick pitch. Our Ladies Primary School in Stonyburn held a fun afternoon of activities to mark the grand opening, including five-a-side football, a basketball hoop challenge and a beat the goalie event. Staff and pupils were joined at the event by families and the wider school community, as well as a special guest, Christian Montano and Michael Nottingham from Livingston Football Club. Our Ladies principal teacher Sinead McLaughlin said, "Health and well-being is a very high priority at Our Ladies, so to have such a fantastic safe space at our new Kitch Pitch for our children to use for PE, clubs and at break times is very special. We know the local community have been eagerly awaiting this event too, and it was fantastic to be able to share this fantastic occasion with them." And in fact, there's a picture of a large group of school children with the two footballers cutting the red tape.
Broxburn end on a low note. Broxburn ended their maiden season in the Lowland League with a disappointing 3-0 defeat at home to Hearts B on Saturday. Stevie Pittman's side won promotion from the East of Scotland League last term and gave a great account of themselves this year, finishing 7th. But the young Jambos inflicted their 13th loss of the campaign, with Mackenzie Ross, Dominic Plank and Angus Stevenson all netting in the second half.
The next story is from the most recent edition of the West Lothian Council Bulletin. Empty homes in West Lothian going down. The number of empty council properties, voids, in West Lothian is at its lowest level in several years. Currently, less than 2% of all council properties in West Lothian are without a tenant. This is a significant reduction compared to the number of void properties in the previous year. There's also been an increase in the number of properties being re-let, 1,167 properties, an increase of 111 compared to the same period last year. Executive Councillor for Housing Services, George Paul, said social housing is in short supply and this is a key priority for the Council. A significant amount of effort and resources has been deployed to ensure that we reduce the number of empty properties locally and ensure they are re-let as quickly as possible. What is a void? All council homes that are returned to the council are classified as being void, and all need some degree of repair work or maintenance checks. This can range from a simple electrical safety test to a complete refurbishment, including new kitchens, bathrooms, central heating, electrical and plumbing. Condition of void properties determines how quickly the council can turn them over and have them available to re-let. Unfortunately, the council has experienced a significant increase in the number of properties where the condition is classified as C-class, nearly doubling in number since 2020 to 21, which means that a significant level of repair is required. For the more complex cases, where significant repairs are required, these homes can be out of action for a prolonged period of time. Julie Whitelaw, Head of Housing, Customer and Building Services, said, "We're certainly making progress in that area, but there's still work to be done. It's our aim to reduce the number of void council properties to 1% or below, which we believe would make it one of the best performances in the country."
And that brings us to the end of our news broadcast for this week. When you have finished listening, please put your memory stick back into the blue wallet, change the address label, and remember to post it in a postbox and not the post office. All that remains is to send you our very best wishes for the coming weeks. And until next time, take care. So it's cheerio from Team 4.